whole concert is a trap. They're watching all the exits, checking everyone that leaves. There's no way to get out of here.
Marker. By now, you all know how I probably feel about most of the current M. Night Shyamalan movies. And here we are again. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. My name is Brandon Aries, and welcome to The Sanctuary. Pretty crazy to believe that we're back here again. It's almost like we didn't really think about the watchers. So now we have this. But guess what? This movie is an audience trap, but you can escape it. And with that said, let's talk movie. And this week, Trap. As we said before, it is directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Main character Cooper, starring Josh Hartnett, is taking his daughter Riley to a concert. And this concert ends up being, you guessed it, a trap to lure out this serial killer that's out on the loose. And you're not gonna believe who he is. Josh Hartnett does the best that he can with this script. He's really good. I feel like I want to see more of him, but I haven't. I think the last time I saw him in anything was in that Black Mirror episode. But he definitely gets that unnerving side of a psychopath, of a serial killer. And it's not like Dexter Morgan at a concert with his teenage daughter. Like, Hartnett still finds those new ways to implement the psychosis of a serial killer. Speaking of the script, the dialogue is so basic. And believe it or not, some of it works for Josh Hartnett's character, but the other stuff, it just feels like everybody's an NPC. Because, bro, the side characters spill everything and anything under the sun. I'm not trusting them with nothing. Hey, so what's going on here? Well, you see, the FBI used this concert venue as a trap to obtain the serial killer that is out on the loose. Although, with the serial killer, only faculty and staff have this secret code. Huh. Some interesting cameos in here, like Russ and Kid Cudi. I didn't recognize it with the long hair, but then when it got to like a different scene, I was like, oh, that's Scotty. I'm not trying to completely rag on this entire thing, because there were some really intense encapsulating shots from the serial killer's point of view. And although it's in the serial killer POV, it almost feels like it's wrong. You're like, hey, he shouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, you're rooting for him. Like, oh yeah, you can do it, escape. And it makes you think, M. Night Dexterlon is doing pretty good with all this. Like, he knows how to work his way and get his hand to survive. Here's what I'm struggling with. The first half, I feel like, is solid. As in, you can build that up and end it nicely. And then there's the second half. Let me turn off my screen. Towards the final act, the big singer of the concert venue turns out to be M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. The singing? Yeah, woo! Sing your heart out, girl. The acting? You gave her too much to do. You gave her this big role at the very last stretch. And derailment of the story, I feel, is inevitable when you're giving a character such a big task at the last second. Mind you, this movie was already derailing, but this was just like the, Don't get me wrong, there are certain parts at the end that I did enjoy that really led into why I was intrigued about this film in the first place. But then cut to the ending, which leaves me feeling unsatisfied, like I should have turned this off like 20-30 minutes ago. And that's hard, man. I never want to be the guy to like turn off a movie halfway. If I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna watch it to the end. But if I'm feeling that way, it makes me want to just... That being said, I'm giving Trap a 2.25 out of 5. It gets that little extra quarter because I did like the first half. The first half is, like I said, solid. But then you took me out of it when you decided to just throw all these things and have no consequences whatsoever. Mr. Shyamalan, perhaps it's time to hang up the cloak. Or if you're gonna make a thriller like you usually do every so often, at least give some better dialogue. Don't have it derail at the second half to make me think that I'm watching an episode of Black Mirror, only to find out I'm watching a full-length film. Can you do that? Thank you. I don't feel like an M. Night Shyamalan movie has really struck my interest probably since Split. Honestly, sit down when this movie comes out on streaming, watch like the first 40-ish minutes, and then you can leave. Spend your money on seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, it's still out in theaters. What are you doing? In case this movie Love and Lover Boy doesn't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace.